What off-season? There's no real off-season in the NFL. The Bills have been at it since they came back in April for workouts. Most recently, the team went through OTAs and mandatory minicamp. Since so much has been going on here at One Bills Drive, we wanted to catch you up on some of the biggest storylines out of OTAs and mandatory minicamp. Before we get to that, let's check out some of the best clips from the practices. Bills head coach Sean McDermott will go back to his DC days this season, as McDermott will be calling the plays this year. The head coach says he's excited to get back in it, and several coaches on staff think he'll be a stronger play caller this time around because he's worked with both sides of the ball as a head coach.
What you miss the most is rolling up your sleeves and getting in with the players side by side and coaching and getting in that defensive room, in this case for me, and really getting down to the nth detail. And so I missed that, and it's good. It feels good to be back doing that again.
Yeah, it's getting competitive out there. You know, a little trash talking back and forth with coach. So that's fun to see his competitive juices get flowing. And I'm not saying they wouldn't last year. He's a defensive guy, so that defense is always a special part of him. But I think even more so right now. But I am excited to see some of the things that he's going to do with RD, and I know our guys are excited too.
Based on the situation, he's going to do what he needs to do, whether it's play coverage or be aggressive, not necessarily always looking to pressure. I think the one thing that I've learned over the years in terms of working with Sean is that he's going to do whatever we need to do to win that game or win that rep or win that series.
There are several new faces a part of this year's squad. Some of those guys are the youngest on the roster. It's the Rooks. Buffalo's first-round pick in the 2023 NFL Draft was tight end Dalton Kincaid. There's been lots of talk about how Kincaid can add to the offense thanks to his elite ball skills and 35 touchdowns in college. But right now, the coaches are focused on getting him comfortable with the playbook and not putting too many expectations on him.
I love his approach, right now. It's been great. Just coming in, eager to learn, eager to just build a foundation more so than anything. And I think that's important, We're nowhere close to knowing exactly, hey, this is what the big picture is going to be, because we have to learn him and he has got to learn us in a lot of ways too, within the system and within what we can do and within the direction we're going, and where we can expand things and where we can utilize him.
Yeah, I think it was fluidity just in terms of how he moves, getting in and out of cuts, when he catches the ball, knifing up forward, and then you look at his catch radius, he makes some pretty unreal catches. So you throw that in with, again, being young to the game. Hasn't played that many years of football, so he's got a lot to learn, and he's very eager to learn. And to have Dawson and him paired up together, they do some things slightly different. But again, I think they're going to pair very well together.
He already has great vision of what the defense is doing. Great hands, great route running capability, really well polished for coming out of college. So it's going to be awesome bringing him in the box, running the ball some, and then if we're both out there at the same time, creating some mismatches, get one of us on a linebacker. So I think the more 12 personnel, the more multi-tight end sets you can run, the more versatility you're going to have on the offense. So it's going to be pretty good.
QB1 Josh Allen is approaching season number 6 with a new mindset. He's had at least 35 passing touchdowns in each of the last 3 seasons, but Allen wants more. The QB is laser focused this season, more than ever before. Why? Well, he wants to win, and with the talent level on this team, Allen doesn't want any missed opportunities. His teammates and coaches see this playing out in practices and meetings.
Overall, I just think that Josh taking his game to another level really means, being a great decision maker. We've talked about before this offseason, and it's been talked about, adjusting his style of play enough to keep himself healthy and to play smarter at times as well. And then I just think the overall approach to the game. I've seen a different Josh this offseason. Not that it was bad before, but he's got a new sense of focus, I would say, and determination, which is good.
Yeah, it's an accumulation of things, I think. But to that point, just understanding our window in I want to give everything that I have for as long as I play. And, I'm not saying that I haven't done that in the past, but there's always new ways that I can find to get better, and not being complacent with what I'm doing on the field, understanding that there's a lot of plays that we left out there. And statistically, you look at it, we were top 3-4 offense in the league last year, and it wasn't good enough. So just losing the playoffs isn't fun, and I so badly want to bring a Super Bowl here to Buffalo, and I just don't want anything to get in the way of allowing me to be the best quarterback that I can be for this team.
Offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey and QB Josh Allen are suiting up for year 2 together. In year 1, the offense was the second best in the NFL, averaging over 28 points per game and close to 400 total yards per game. This season, the two have some new weapons to play with and are feeling like their communication and comfort level with each other will help take the offense to new heights.
I think just that comfort level now in year 2, it continues to get better. Even though, I've been here and everything, but as a quarterback coach, I think when you are, learning new coordinator and new play caller and that type of thing, there is time to kind of grow and develop. And so I think that comfort level continues to grow, that communication, because I'm the type of person I love having that input. I love having that input from him. I love that input from the guys, whether it's him, Gabe, Josh, Steph, any of those guys, Dawson, guys up front, Dion, Mitch, all those guys. You want that input, because when you do, it's a lot easier to build and call plays that they're supremely confident in.
I'm very excited. The meetings that we're having, the stuff that we're installing, schematically, we're not going to be too different, but I definitely think we're cleaning things up. And looking back on film last year, just myself, eyes being in the wrong spot sometimes, and making sure that I'm on the same page with the receivers, tight ends, and running backs, and the O-line for that matter. So I got to be an extension of him when I'm on the field, and utilizing this time to really develop that relationship and try to be in his mind as much as possible. And I got no doubt we'll get there.
I think he's just gotten a feel for what he likes and doesn't like. Him and Josh have been, inseparable. They're always telling each other what they think works and doesn't work, and kind of just taking stuff from last year and building on that. And that relationship with him and Josh has been pretty awesome. So I think just growing on the things that worked from last year and adding in a few new wrinkles here and there.
Defensive tackle Ed Oliver is entering year 5 of his NFL career and will do so with a brand new contract. Oliver signed a 4-year extension in the beginning of June. The defensive tackle was smiling ear to ear as he put pen to paper with his daughter by his side. Oliver said he was excited to see the deal come together because Buffalo is exactly where he wants to be.
That position is also, it's a premium position in our league, and they're hard to find, especially if you're having success. Where do we draft them? We drafted them up high. It's hard to find those. And so, I think we've invested in him through 4 years, and I think like I said, his best football is ahead of him, and it's on him and us to continue to develop him to be, one of those top players.
Right. I think the main thing to being consistent is, for one, taking care of your body and making sure your body is consistent, because that goes hand in hand with your play. And I think as long as my body is consistent, I think I can be just as dominant as any D tackle in the league.
The scouting department has been making moves this offseason, and who says they're done? One of the biggest additions to the squad is defensive end Leonard Floyd. Floyd will reunite with former LA Rams teammate Von Miller and will definitely bring some firepower to the defensive line. Floyd has racked up 29 sacks in his last 3 seasons and wanted to come to Buffalo because of their Super Bowl chances.
Oh, it was simple. I want to win. I want to win the Super Bowl. And I'm examining teams and looking at their rosters, and the Bills the best, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like if I come here, I can help the team get there and win a game.
Well, he's a pass rusher. I mean, just the ability to, get after the passer first. I think the last 3 years he's just under 30 sacks. So to add a guy like that to our group adds competition. And, I think our guys all will rise up, adding another guy like a Leonard Floyd.
My take on this defense is special defense, especially after watching it last year with Vaughn. It's a defense you want to be a part of, and just so happened the situation led to me ended up coming here, and I'm gonna seize the moment and go out and help the defense be even more better.
One of the biggest training camp competitions will be at middle linebacker. The competition started during OTAs with several players earning a shot at the starting spot. From Tyrell Dodson to A.J. Klein, Terrell Bernard, Balin Spector, Tyler Medikevich, and even the rookie Dorian Williams will have a chance at it. When it comes to who they want at that spot, it's not about the height or weight, but instead about their ability to run the defense.
So the operation and making sure that our defense can function through the way the Mike linebacker gets us into a defense, potentially sets a front, sets this, sets that, so we can operate at a high level. That's the hardest thing. And I think the other thing, and I believe Sean and Brandon have talked about it, is we want football players. We don't care what they look like. We don't care what the measurables are. We don't care. We want football players that can play football.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pleased with the competition there, from T-Dot and Terrell and Bernard and Balin, AJ. They're all Tyler. They're all working hard at it. When they've gotten their opportunities, they've looked good. So I think the competition continues. We'll see where it goes. What we always do is, we kind of reset the board a little bit after the next couple of days as we head into the summer break, and then we get into training camp and we start from there.
Demar Hamlin continues to amaze us. That's what Sean McDermott said as he's watched the safety make stride after stride in his comeback to the field. Hamlin's reps are increasing as he's becoming a regular practice participant. And he even had his first interception back out there during OTAs. Absolutely incredible. We're all cheering for you three.
To just watch that unfold and just a moment, I guess, that I'll never forget, right? As long as I've been coaching, and then when I'm done coaching someday, and it's fun to watch that, right? For a young man to have that moment, and then for him to continue to be taking steps towards getting back. All that being said, it's still one day at a time, and at his cadence. So, been very impressed by his approach, and we'll see where it goes, but taking it one day at a time.
He's still got more milestones to hit, but to think back, we're just at the beginning of June, and that was the beginning of January, and we were just hoping he'd live, and now he's not only got a normal life, but we're talking about playing not any football, NFL football. So thrilled for him, all the people that have been around him, and it's an amazing story.
I think when you really when you think about Demar's, what really happened, and where he's come from there, it's a miracle. I mean, it's amazing that he's able to get out here and do what he's been doing and be involved in all the meetings. It's incredible, and just continuing to look forward to how many more steps he's going to take to get to where he eventually wants to get to. I'm just proud to be his coach and proud to be a part of that experience and help him physically, mentally, and then on the field however we can.
Von Miller missed part of last season with a knee injury he suffered during the Lions game on Thanksgiving. Miller is making his way back and worked out off to the side for much of OTAs and mandatory minicamp. The edge rusher is feeling good, and in a perfect world, he wants to be ready to go by week 1.
I'm in a great spot now where it's all on me. I can't go out there and, mess it up or, injure myself. The possibility is always there, but as far as my ACL and the surgery that I had done, I can't, mess it up doing just regular stuff. So my biggest task now is to transition from a rehab warrior to a pass rusher again. And going through football, getting the conditioning down, just being a football player again. The plan is to practice, get some practice reps so I can be ready for week 1. I'm not a believer in just showing up to the game and rushing. You know, what I got to do, I got to get my practice shots out here on the football field. So I definitely have to have some work in training camp. You know, what that entails, I don't know. How many reps will it be, I don't know. But I have some reps in training camp to help get me ready for week 1, for sure.
We already talked about the scouting staff making moves this offseason. From free agency to the draft to moves throughout OTAs, the work has not stopped. There are plenty of new faces on this year's squad, and according to several players, the roster is looking as deep as it's ever been.
You know, I'm looking at all the talent that we have, and it's not just the ones, it's not just the twos, it's not just the threes. Then we got guys all over the place. We got tall, rangy corners. We got receivers that are capable of being starters on another team. We got starters that were on another team that came over here that probably won't be starters, that had to be in the rotation. Our offensive line is stacked. You know, we just signed Brandon Shell, and you know we got Connor McGovern and Edwards and Deion Dawkins and Quisenberry. So we have a really deep offensive line, really deep defensive line. Coach McDermott likes to say all the time, those are the quarterback, offensive line, and defensive line are the 3 most important groups in the building, and we're loaded at all three of those groups. So I'm super excited for all of these guys, man. It's a hard job for the GM to be able to trim this team down because everybody on this team is capable and ready to play.
All around, whether it's the core guys or guys just getting here, I think everyone just has to ramp it up a little bit and understand that what we've been doing these last couple of years isn't getting it done. We all got to get better in every area, and it doesn't matter if guys have come and gone throughout the years. Just continue to work together and get better.
The players and coaches have a much-deserved break for the rest of June and July before training camp begins here soon enough. So we're signing off. Thanks for tuning in to our off-season wrap-up, and we're excited to see you all at St. John Fisher.